collaboration, the Youth Council and Faith Working Group as a mechanism for engagement and the rationale behind the faith engagement and ecological movement. Thank you. I'll invite my colleague Adria to introduce more about the Faith for Art and Youth Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. My name is Audrey, and I am a Faith for Earth intern. I would like to introduce you to the Faith for Earth Youth Council. So the UNEP Faith for Earth Coalition promotes leadership on environmental sustainability and strengthens partnerships with faith-based organizations and enables an interfaith collaboration on environmental issues. The Faith for Earth Coalition comprises 4 councils, one of them being the Youth Council. The first meeting of the Youth Council happened in August 2022 on the International Youth Day. The Faith for Earth Youth is a platform driven by faith, values, and ethics that places young people of faith in position of leadership to advocate for positive environmental change under the Faith for Earth Coalition. Sorry. The youth, with their innovative perspective, energy, moral, and commitment, are instrumental in environmental stewardship within their communities and beyond. They aim for a sustainable future within a dynamic movement that aligns faith-based organization values with environmental action. It's a powerful council because of the potential to mobilize a generation of environmental conscious leaders, the future of this earth, the leaders of tomorrow, who will better influence on environmental decision-making processes. The Youth Council is also the continuing development of faith-based network that connect to cultivate commitment for eco-responsibility on the individual, community, and institutional level. So the next Youth Council members will be nominated after UNEA 6. I invite you to either join our network to receive updates about events, resources, and opportunities to engage, or you can engage more meaningfully in becoming a Youth Council member. If you want to get some new networking opportunities in the faith-based organization space, if you want to promote sustainable ethical actions and promote advocacy efforts for positive environmental change, please apply. You will find the QR code that will direct you to our application form on the flyers that are a bit around the room. Thank you. I now invite Emmanuel to introduce you to the Faith Working Group.
Okay, so the Faith Working Group it's one among the working groups within the Children and Youth Major Group, UNEP-COMG, and it's an integral component of our collaborative efforts to address global environmental challenges through the lens of faith-based engagement. And more about the Faith Working Group, it's a dedicated group of youth representatives from diverse faith-based backgrounds, united by a shared commitment to environmental stewardship and sustainability. And this collective recognizes the pivotal role that faith communities play in promoting environmental justice and harmony with the planet. Its members are driven by a vision to mobilize faith leaders, organizations, and individuals to take a collective action for a more sustainable world. So the vision for the Faith Working Group is to harness the moral and spiritual wisdom of faith communities worldwide and to inspire concrete actions that address global environmental challenges and protect the Earth's fragile ecosystem. And the mission of the Faith Working Group is to facilitate dialogue, collaborating, and advocacy among faith leaders, youth, and environmental stakeholders to drive sustainable development, promote climate justice, and advocate for policies that reflect our shared moral responsibility towards the planet and its inhabitants. Some of our activities that we have had is like the inclusion of the youth council members to be part of COMG under the Faith Working Group, and they have been very active. And also we have had engagement with the Faith for Art initiative, who are part of our partners, and I would like to thank them. And also we have had pre-COP consultations where the Faith Working Group and the Faith for Art Youth Council had pre-COP consultation for the previous COP, COP28, and also we will be having a capacity building in the course of next month. And in the spirit of inclusion and collaboration, Let us come together as youths from different faiths to incorporate diverse range of perspectives and ideas to best implement our shared vision. Each participant bring a unique set of skills and experiences, and by fostering an environment of open communication and mutual respect, we can harness the collective intelligence of our team. So together we can create a cohesive plan that reflects the richness of our collective expertise, leading to more successful and comprehensive implementation of our vision. With that said, also in regards to that, I would like to say what's the faith working group within the children and youth major group are contributed in regards to the GYD, that's the Global Youth Declaration. And I'll just state it because there's a link which you can be accessed for the GYD and you can read it. So the point number one, it's in regards to okay. I've seen it. Okay, collaboration with the grassroots communities and faith actors. We have shared points in regards to collaboration with the grassroots communities and the faith actors, and also we have added a point of the inclusion of indigenous and traditional knowledge and recognition of sacred dimension of biodiversity, which was in the UNEA Resolution 4/18, and the acknowledgement of indigenous communities in regards to the nature-based solutions. And lastly, we have the protection where we empower local communities and protect the rights of the indigenous people to tackle the imbalance. With that said, I'll welcome my colleague Rukia Ahmed, who will lead us in the first session. And the question is going to be how faith actors work in ensuring behavioral change for environmental sustainability at the individual and institutional level. So she will lead us on how we are going to do it.
Friends and colleagues, Ms. Rukia Ahmed is now in the front of the room. Just to reiterate that this session is interactive, it's consultative. So please get your phones out, scan the QR code that's on the screen to my right. And at this juncture, we're asking you, how can faith actors work on ensuring behavioral change for environmental sustainability at the individual and institutional level? We encourage you to speak with colleagues in the room. Feel free to get up, move around. We have approximately 10 minutes to do so. With that, we encourage you to please put your thinking caps on. The results of your collaboration and interaction in this session will inform the Faith for Earth Youth Action Plan that you saw on the screen to my left. In addition to this session, it's an ongoing yearly engagement where we engage young people of faith globally around a range of environmental thematic areas. So please, what experiences have you had working with faith actors individually, at the institutional level? What have you seen in your own communities? What have you seen in your countries? Share those experiences with us.
Behavioral change for environmental sustainability at different level. It could be at individual level. Look at the institutions they are. It could be in schools, in the workplace, in the faith worshiping places, and so many other places. So think about how they're able to influence environmental sustainability at those different places. For example, I was in one of my faith places. And one day I was intrigued by a wonderful message. As Muslims, we do pray, and we're going for prayers. We usually do ablution. We use water, and you find sometimes people might waste water because you'll be washing your face, your hands and feet. So I saw a powerful message, a verse written, a quote from one of the sayings that wastage of water, it's not appealing to God, and you should not waste water. And that intrigued me to make sure that I close the tap and I ensure I don't waste water. That could be one of the ways in which faith actors influence environmental sustainability. To you, what are those? So feel free to discuss with the person next to you. It could be in group of 3 or 2, and then you can share your feedback on the mentee, and as well, you can discuss among yourselves.
For those of you that have just joined us, we welcome you to scan the QR code that's on the screen to my right. This is an interactive, it's a consultative session. Your opinions, your experiences will make up the work plan for Youth of Faith. It's a platform that's convened by the United Nations Environment Program's Faith for Earth Coalition. So please do be as ambitious as you can and as honest in the reflections that you share with us today. For those of you sitting at the back, we welcome you to come closer to interact with the people that you see in the room today. Make a friend, learn more about their faith tradition and what it says about the environment. Time check, you have approximately 3 minutes to go. Hey, Ashley, it's time to place you on the spot. Could you tell us a little bit about the Laudato Si movement and the Pope's encyclical Laudato Si, Care for Our Common Home, in respect to the first question, how can faith actors work on ensuring behavioral change at the individual and institutional level?
Thanks, Ismaira, and good afternoon. My name is Ashley Kitisia, and I work with Laudato Si movement as the fossil-free campaigner for Africa. And I'm also a Laudato Si animator from the year 2020. And in 2015, just before the Paris Agreement, the Pope Francis, wrote a letter not only to Catholics, but also to people of goodwill, encouraging them to take more action for the ongoing climate crisis. And this letter is called Laudato Si, on care for our common home. And from Laudato Si, the letter itself, a movement was born out of that, and that is the Laudato Si movement. And many other Catholic organizations have taken action towards caring for our common home after this call for more action. But then what's really amazing about Laudato Si is that it is not the typical letter that is written from a faith perspective. And so the beginning begins with just setting of context, looking at the science that's available and also what is happening in the ongoing crisis. And so this is not just a letter that can be read by Catholics, but also anyone really of goodwill who is interested in understanding on a deeper level what this triple planetary crisis actually means. And so from the letter, we are told that one, the excessive consumerism and this technocratic paradigm is one of the leading causes of climate change. And the people who are most affected is the environment, but also in this environment, people who are poor are the ones who are most affected. So this is, for example, this global north versus global south illustration where most of the pollution happens in the north, but then the south is the one that mostly experiences the impacts of climate change. And so Laudato Si movement took the letter and they work in three main ways. So the first one is encouraging more sustainable lifestyles. So this means living simply and avoiding excessive consumerism. The second is on footprint reduction. This is where we take more action to care for the environment, whether this is by just being more cautious of our carbon footprint and also looking at greening and avoiding pollution. And then the third one is advocacy, where we now look at policy and how we can bring more people to have dialogue about the crisis that's going on. And Laudato Si movement in Africa, and I'm speaking about it because we are in Africa, has also taken this up to empower more volunteers. And so we have a Laudato Si animators program where we train most people who sign up online for 3 weeks to learn about Laudato Si and how they can take action. Since Laudato Si in 2015, last year, just before COP28, the Pope also wrote another letter. It's called the Apostolic Exhortation, called Laudato Deum. We can also call it Laudato Si Part 2. And this one was mostly talking about the issue of fossil fuels and the need for us to transition away. And Pope Francis has really utilized his platform as a leader to encourage more people to take more action and be aware of what is going on, and that we people of faith and faith actors also have a role to play in our institutions, in our schools. And so Laudato Si has now taken a form of its own with more platforms. So we have other partners like the Laudato Si Action Platform. We work also closely with Faith for Earth and many others to empower and equip more people. So we encourage everyone to take a small action. So we say that no action is too little. So whether it's an institution or even an individual, you all have a role to play and a special and unique talent that you can bring towards caring for our common home. So thank you, Esmira, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Now, many of you may not know, but there's a sister declaration that's going to be launched at the United Nations Environment Assembly on the 27th of February at 10 a.m. It's a high-level launch of Al-Mizan, a covenant for the earth. We like to describe it as the Laudato Si for Muslims that's been comprised by eminent scholars on religion and ecology, particularly Islamic views on the environment. But we're not stopping there. The Faith for Earth Coalition, for those of you that missed it, we're a specialized program of UNEP. We are looking to convene the Hindus, we're looking to convene the Buddhists, so that we have powerful statements like Laudato Si, like Al-Mizan on the environment, establishing a baseline for those with faith that express a faith and intend to use that faith for positive action on the environment, for a more peaceful, a more cohesive, and a more sustainable environment. So it seems like we've plateaued in terms of the responses, and that might be because the new people that have joined us might not know what we're up to. So please, on my right, there's a QR code. Please scan it. Your views, your thoughts and interaction are very important to us, and we would like to see that come through in your responses. And with that, over to you, Emmanuel.
Okay, so we will go to our question, and that's how faith, values, culture, and spirituality enhances the Global Youth Declaration for the Environment. On my left, it's where we have the Global Youth Declaration for Environment. So you can look at it and then you can share your inputs in regards to the GYD. And also to encourage the online participants, you can share your inputs in the chat box, which are being written down by our rapporteurs. So for example, I will elaborate just a few about question number 2. So this can be integrating faith values and cultures and spirituality into the GYD can significantly enhance its impact and resonates across diverse communities. How? Where we have inclusivity and cultural sensitivity. For example, we can incorporate diverse faith values and cultural perspectives that ensure the declaration is inclusive and respects cultural richness of global youth. It will also acknowledge the environmental issues that are perceived and addressed differently across various cultures and beliefs. And also, to add another point, it's about education and awareness, where we can have the faith values often promote education and awareness as essential components of personal growth, and incorporating this into the declaration, it can emphasize the importance of environmental education, empowering the youth and children to make informed decisions and advocate for sustainable practices. Thank you. So you can share your inputs both online and those physical, you can share your inputs in the Menti. Thank you. Also, anyone who has inputs to share in regards to their faith values and cultures and spirituality in how it can enhance the GYD, you can turn on your mic and you can share your experience or what you have to say. Thank you. So we will use the open mic. If you have something to say, you can raise up your hand then. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for giving us the stage. Thank you for the panel and all the distinguished delegates here. My name is Sai Krishna Sairam, the representative from Kailasa, the first Hindu nation as revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. I myself, as a Hindu monk and youth ambassador at large, see the contribution that Hinduism can contribute to sustainability, to tackling the current environment issues. For example, in Hinduism, I'm sure actually we related to many of the points which were shared, similar to how in Hinduism we hold Mother Earth as a goddess herself, and even the herbs, the plants, the mountains, the trees, we respect them as divinity, as divine beings themselves. So having this idea of, like we say that non-living, it's not just a non-living thing. It does have divinity inside it. And in Hinduism, we have the principle of Advaita, which basically says that every single thing in front of us, every being in front of us, every living creature, we are all connected. So with that concept, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been continuously advocating, whether it is in the temples, the place of worship of Hindus, or the various ecosystems and various monasteries that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has created, making sure that we are completely adhering to not using plastic, using only organic materials, using materials which are only contributing for the nature and even reusing. Currently, we see that whether it is food being dumped in the oceans or even clothes being dumped in the oceans, we have a beautiful project of the Ishanya where we're able to recycle those clothes and give it to the people in need, give it to the communities in need instead of just throwing them, which is also being a hazard for the environment. So yes, I'm able to see how we can contribute. And even in our day-to-day practice, like one person had shared that even water is sacred. When we offer the worship daily, even in Hinduism, it is every single material that we use, it is actually grown, whether it is the herbs that we use for the rituals or whether it's the plants, the flowers that we offer during the Hindu rituals. It is all contributing and making sure that every single step that we take towards our faith also is intricately combined with making sure that we are contributing to Mother Earth, we are contributing to an ecosystem, to the environment around us, and therefore promoting sustainability. So thank you. This is just a point I would like to share.
Thank you very much. We encourage anybody else who would like language in the Global Youth Declaration that reflects their own spiritual or faith tradition to unmute yourself. Let your voice be heard. There's a final consultation, and anything shared here, we will try our best to incorporate that in the final round of negotiations.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kennedy Wangare. I'm a representative of Strathmore University and Kenya Inter-Universities Environmental Students Association. I believe that faith is very important when it comes to environmental sustainability because, number one, it can promote values that are in alignment with climate action. And I'm a Christian, and one of the values that we abide by is that the earth is a gift from God. And we as human beings were given full power and autonomy to ensure that everything that God created on earth is our responsibility. But the church has not done enough to emphasize that. And I believe there is a gap that the church and other religious religions can do to emphasize these values. Secondly is to promote sustainable lifestyles that are in alignment with nature. So by promoting these values, people will start living in a sustainable manner, and these sustainable lifestyles can be promoted from the church. So it can include eating organic food. It can include afforestation, and it can include other more sustainable lifestyles. And finally, it's the power of religions to mobilize people to a certain cause. I believe that if religions mobilize people to plant trees, we'll plant so many trees. If religions mobilize people to boycott fossil fuels, it's possible. So I just want to underscore how powerful religion is, and it doesn't have any limitations to what it can do. So I encourage us to use our religions to promote these values, lifestyles, and to mobilize people to take up these causes. Thank you.
Thank you for the great responses. Thank you so much. And we'll go to the third question. That's how can the Faith for Earth Coalition and the Faith Working Group CYMG support faith actors? So I'll encourage you to speak and share how you like to be supported by both the Faith for Earth Coalition and the Faith Working Group CYMG in regards to the different ways since most of you are faith actors. Thank you.
But hang on, Emmanuel. Do you think that the participants know enough about the coalition and CYMG to let us know exactly how we can help them. I think you need to let us know like what's within the remit of the Faith Working Group of CYMG. And perhaps I can come in on the Faith for Earth Youth Council.
Okay. So for instance, like for 2MG, it supports the different youths who are part of the Faith Working Group, and some of them they got accredited by the different organizations, and that's why were able to come and participate in the Global Youth Environmental Assembly, and also some of them will be participating in UNIA 6. So it supports different youth through accreditation, which is something that is very vital for youth to come to such events. And also in regards to the how also I forgot to say we have a partnership with the the Faith Working Group and also the Faith for Earth Coalition, where we are going to support youth also in programs where they can have capacity building, and also it is a highly encouraged their courses which are offered by KICD in regards to faith, which you can enroll and know more about how different faiths view different things in regards to climate, ecosystem, and also sustainability. I think I've responded to your question, Azmaira.
You did. Thank you very much. To your left, you will see a calendar of events of sorts of the Faith for Earth action plan. It's a skeleton of our yearly engagement. What do we intend to do with our vibrant network of youth of faith? You will see their key days: World Youth Skills Day, World Environment Day. What exactly is a unique perspective that young people of faith can bring into the celebration of this day? These are conversations that we will be convening as the Faith for Earth Coalition, as the Faith for Earth Youth Council. As you scan the QR code on the sheets that we have provided, as well as on the screen, there is a link to join the Faith for Earth Youth Network. Stay up to date with how we're engaging with young people globally. What are these eco-spiritualities that we are talking about? Be part of the conversation, be part of this engagement. There's tons of learning opportunities and ways to engage with UNEP's youth programs and initiatives. We're your first point of contact, and we will ensure that you are in the know about what's happening throughout the year. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring this session to a close. It was very brief, but the point of this technical session was to get the conversation started, for you to know who we are. Who is it at UNEP and CYMG that's working on eco-spiritualities, who's working with faith and spiritual traditions? We encourage you to come up to us after this session. Scan the QR code that's on the screen now to join the Faith for Earth Youth WhatsApp group. We share learning opportunities there, fellowships, opportunities to work with us directly. And welcome you to the next session, which is resource efficiency and circularity, happening in this very room. With that, thank you very much for your participation. And you're more than welcome to approach us either in the room or outside before the next session on resource efficiency and circularity begins. We will be here throughout the day. Please look for Audrey. Please wave. Audrey on my left, Emmanuel, who is your MC, and myself. We are representatives of Faith for You. Thank you all very much.
Can they share the QR code again?
There we are. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. The next session on resource efficiency and circularity begins in 10 minutes. And this time, I would encourage you to go get some water, some coffee, and I'll see you back here in 10 minutes' time.